Hi guys, in this video I'll be explaining how you can integrate React Native Action Sheet library inside your React Native application and then provide a feature where if the user taps on a button, the camera will animate to his own location. As well as in the action sheet, we will be asking the user to enter their address like their home address, their street name or street address, etc. Right, and then from that we will be integrating the Google's API where we will first convert their address to coordinates, and then we will use a concept called reverse geocoding to convert the coordinates to an address. Right. So I will provide an in-depth guide on all these features. So let's get into it. So this video is part 4 of my series on Geoverse, where I will be integrating a plethora of features on the concept of geolocation in React Native. Right. So let's get into it. For this particular library, right, we'll go to this website, which is React Native Action Sheets. So this is a very good library where it provides a stand-in replacement to a library called React Native Models, which we use in production. But that particular library is not, actively maintained. So this one provides a good alternative to it. So in order to get this working, what we have to do is you have to first install that one, and then for this to work, we have to also install React Native gesture handler, right? So what we'll be doing, right? So we'll be using, or we'll be asking the user's address in a model like how Zomato does. So Zomato is an Indian app where you would order foods, like it's the same equivalent to DoorDash in the USA. So if I scroll down, and then you can see this is a superb website that I bought recently. I bought their features recently for a lifetime plan. So I'll provide the affiliate link below, but I'm not. This is not a sponsored video from them. I just like their services because, as you can see, right, they have all these screens, and from this video, I will be making all my videos where the designs would be a clone or a screen of a well famous app. So if I scroll at the top, we'll be making this screen. So from here, right? So from this screen, as you can see, they have it written enter complete address, and then all these things are there. Right. And the same way, if I scroll to the right side, they have provided an option called use current location. So we are going to create this button, and when the user taps on that button, we will animate the user to that location. We will use React Native Action Sheets to, what I would say, to create this model, and then we will have tabs like this and all these things. From here, we will use the Google's API where we will use the first geocoding, and then we'll also use the reverse geocoding, where this will be extremely useful for you to for maintaining the addresses of the users, right? So let's this video will focus on integrating the Google APIs, and the next videos will focus on the map box. So that would be an out and out banger. So first let's focus on this. So in this one, what we are going to do is first we have to install it, right? So in order to do that, you have to copy this, and then you have to go to your project. So if you go to your project, and then let's go here and install that, right? npm install that one, and then for this to work, you have to install React Native gesture handler, and then you have to wrap your whole app with that particular one. So I'll also show that. So this is an example of expo snack, where it will show you the real world example of that. So I'm going to go here and tap on this keyboard handling, and then what we are going to do is this also snaps like this. Okay, so you see it animates at the top, and all those things would happen. Now we are going to go to this section where I go to I think keyboard handling, inputs, usage. Okay, sorry. For this to work, we'll go to direct. I'll show you the code itself. So for in this installation, so go here and install this, and in the basic usage, the setup is slightly a long step, but once you do that, everything just clicks. The first thing you have to do is for this to work, I'm going to go to my code, and then in here I'm going to first create this action sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go I'm going to create a new file called address action sheet. Okay, you can name it anything, and then in here I'm just going to go back here, go to this installation, and then this is how you can grab the code from the expo snacks. Okay, so this is loading. Okay, so if I tap on this, right, so this particular button, you can see it goes there, and then now we can get the code from for the keyboard handling. So in this app components, examples, and then in this particular section input.tsx. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this entirely, and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so I'm just going to call it address action sheet. Okay, so now if I do this, and then you have to do one more step. So what you have to do is, if I go back here, you have to so I'll go here, and then in the examples, the first thing, once this is set up, you have to take this and you have to create a file called sheet.sh, like sheet. Like if it's TypeScript, you have to use TS, and then you have to register that sheet. Okay, once you register that sheet like this, so I'm going to do it. So here I have imported register sheet. The same way I'm going to use register sheet, and then I'm going to call it as address action sheet, and just going to import it. Okay, and then I'll just use this export like this. And then one more thing you have to do is you have to go to your app.js. So in the app.js, what you have to do is at the top, as you can see here, you have to import the sheet, sheet file here at the top. And then if I scroll down in this section, as said in the docs, what you have to do is you have to so you have to wrap it around using sheet manager. You can see first thing, you have to wrap the gesture handler at the top, and then you also have to use the sheet provider with the context of global. So why are you doing this, right? So there is a library called React Native model, right? So in that React Native model, it uses the native model which is provided by both the platforms, right? And then from there you can create multiple models and then use it, like you have to explicitly call it and then use some state values and manipulate it, etc. But if the application grows bigger and bigger, right, you have to create models again and again. But with the help of React Native action sheet, if you simply register it at the top or the global part of the application, and then have these things wrapping around your the app.js, right? So what happens is you can use it anywhere. Okay, you can use it in any part of your application, and then you can simply call .show and hide to do it. So as you can see, we can simply use sheet manager.show, and then this particular thing would be whatever you have passed here. Okay, you can name it anything. I'm just going to use address autocomplete as small case. Okay, it's camel case. And then once that is done, we can use it anywhere. So to showcase this, I'm going to go to this particular file. Okay, in this particular file, as I said, we are going to discuss all of these things. Now here, I'm going to do two things. Okay, I'm going to go back to Amazon's thing, and then at the bottom, I'm going to have this use current location. That is after we do this. Next one is this, I'm just going to have a button called enter address, right? Or I can do I can simply do this, and then if the user focuses on this, we can show this model. Let's do that. That's somewhat complex and advanced stuff. So I'm going to go here, and then you can use an input here, or you can also make it tappable. Most of the search application, the grocery apps, and then these delivery apps, make sure that it looks like an input, but if you tap on them, it moves to the other screen with a full view of that search. If you try the UX, if you notice it keenly, it would happen. So I'm going to use the same one. So I'm going to go here, use this view, and then in here I'm going to use style, and then style of position. I'm going to put this at the top 20, and left is to 20. Okay, I'll just use top of left, top is to 20, and then here I'm going to use another view style. So this would be background color of white, and then I'm going to use with this to screen width is nothing but utility class that I use everywhere. And then in here I'm going to use another I'm going to use a text. So what these guys have written, search for area. I'm just going to use search address. Okay, search address. So once we do that, okay, text doesn't belong. So I'm going to call it and get it. And then we also have to use the index of 100. Okay. And then it's at the top. So what we have to do, we can't provide safe area view because we want the full one. So I'm just simply going to, so not here, and then I'm going to use 50. Okay, we can also use something called safe area inset. So const insets equal to use safe area insets. This is extremely handy. So insets dot top plus 20. Okay, so if we do that, you can see it is there. So 20 is too much. And then I will also add padding of 10, border radius of 10. Okay, so if I do that, it's automatically looking nice. So I'll use style is to font family of, I think, Nano font. Okay, that's, you can see it's automatically looking good. So I'll use 5. And then now we need this particular things. What is this? I think they have a border. The icon, that's not required. So I'll use border with this to 1. Not 1 is too much. Okay. If I do that, it's automatically looking nice. Okay. So it will always be there. So when the user taps on this, what we are going to do is we are going to call that model. Okay. So let's use pressable. I like pressable. Okay. So and then here we'll create a function called const open action sheet model equal to, and then we'll create an arrow function. Here we'll use sheet manager dot show. Okay, so we'll use sheet manager dot show and then simply call this. Okay, let's do that. And then when the user taps on this, we'll use on press and this. Okay, on this. Okay, simply we can do that. And then if you tap on this, you can see it has automatically come up. Okay, so this is how you can use this particular sheet, action sheet, because it, and then because it's good, as well as you can use it anywhere in your application. Okay, so for example, I already created something on an input field here. You can with the with all these things, right? But I will do it from scratch now. So I will explain how you can create the input fields, as well as how you can pass data points from this screen to the next screen, etc., and all these things, right? So now what we need to do, we need to create this particular one inside that action sheet, and I'm going to show how well it handles the keyboard keyboard interactions. Okay, so if once I tap on this, I see carefully. If if you're in Mac, use Command K. Okay, if you use Command K, it will automatically move up. So if you don't have an iPhone, or you should have an iPhone, but if you're not comfortable in testing in real device before you go to beta testing, etc., or in test flight mode, you can use this technique to do to test your keyboard handlings in your app itself. Now here I'm going to add all these things, and at the bottom I will add this save address. We're not going to have this thing, but if we have that, we just have to tap on it, and then the state will go out. Right. For now, okay, let's get into it. Now, in this section, so address action sheet, right? So there are multiple props that we can use. I will discuss that and get into the coding part. So if I go back here in this section, so I think, okay, you have this one, right? Okay. Before that, I will teach you how you can see what are the props within your VS Code itself, right? Like if you do command click in Mac, and then go to this is your node module. So if you do command click, it will go to node modules and then into this TypeScript file, which has the types. Now if you tap on this, what you can do is what is this? This action sheet. So I think okay, action sheet props. Okay, you can see action sheet props. So we'll see what are the props here. Animated, is this true, and all these things are there. Snap points, all these things. Main thing is the payload, and then we can also customize the indicator style at the top. Okay, indicator style, and style the top bar. So I don't like this indicator style, so I'm going to go here, use margin top of 10. Okay, you can see it's slightly below. I think I'll use 50 to test. Okay, let's see, it's very below. Okay, so I'll just use 20. And then I don't like the color, so I'm going to change it to 15. And if I go here, overlay color, right? Overlay color is black. Okay, overlay color is different one. I'll explain that later. So, okay, so we can change this color and all these things. So you can go to this types dot, this is same for all the libraries which are well maintained. You can do this and like improve all what I would say, like you can still go to the code base and then change all of those things, which will immediately reflect in your sorry, you can do patch package once you make changes in the node modules of that particular library, and then you can go back and then you do use patch package so that it will like it will stay even if you, go to some other system, right? So now in this part, let's make it from the top. Okay, so here we have enter complete address. So let's go there, use what view, same way view, and then what enter complete address. So view text in sorry text, and then style I'll use what font. Okay, text is not there, so with auto complete we'll use font family. I don't recommend using code auto completion. Okay, I don't like it because it takes away my power of writing code. Okay, so in here enter complete address, enter complete address. If I do this, tap on this, enter complete address, increase font size 16, and then same way style is to padding of 10. Okay, you can see it is automatically looking good. I'll use margin left of 5. Okay, so if I do this, you can see it's automatically looking good. Now I can increase the size 18, and if I go back here, you can see it automatically looks same like this. And then now we can what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to add complete address and then hotel. Okay, so this save address as and this one. So let's go here in this section. So what is this? Save address as. So sorry, not here. Save address as, and then color should be think gray, and then normal font. This should be normal font, not that one. And then this should be 14. Okay, because it should be smaller. It's a label. Okay, so now I think we can change this padding vertical to 5 and padding horizontal into 10. Sorry, it's to 10. So it won't, okay. And then now we can make these tabs. So for making the tab, let's use flat list. So to see how it works. Okay, now, okay, flat list is not a problem. In this one, below this, same, let's copy this. Go here, use flat list. Okay, flat list, and then okay, sorry, and then here we'll use render item, and then here we'll use what data. Okay, so in the data, what we can do is we can use home and office. For now, this two is enough. Here we'll use return, and then we'll use pressable because that is like it's pressable, right? We have to tap on that. And then we'll use text of whatever the item we have, item, and then we'll use the item here. Okay, so we'll use, and then we should use this, like keep it like this, and then the key extractor, it's just the item, right? So we'll use what item, and then simply that is the, like it should be unique, and home and office is different. In here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use style, same way, padding of 10, border width of 1, and then border color. I will show you. For now, I'll just keep it red. Okay. Same way, style. So to save time, I will go here and paste it here. Okay. Now, if I go back and see, this is looking like this. Now I have to change this to horizontal. So horizontal. And it will be converted to horizontal. Now gray not looking nice, and then we'll use margin horizontal 5, and then border radius 10. Okay, see, and then what I can do is can use 10 here. Okay, let's use 5. We already have slightly less 5. Okay, now in this one, this is how state works, right? So in here, if the user taps on that, it should change, right? So we have to use state. So I'm going to go to the top and use const select look selected location or select location type. Sorry, should be or address type. Name it properly so that your future self will thank you, and then your other teammates will what I would say won't get confused on what it is like. I imported from the top set address type on press what item. Sorry, item. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I need to conditionally render it, right? Item is equal to office means, or actually it should be, yeah, for now this is a single type, right? Okay, I will go with the multi-type itself. So in this one, if the item is equal to address type, show red, and then if it's not, show gray. Okay, show gray. Same way, if I go here, if you see keenly, okay, they didn't change the what is this font family, but we are going to change. If the item is equal to this, use bold font, and then one more is the background color. So background color, if item is the same, use what I would say red. I think #000. Okay, I'll just use that, and then this should be transparent. Okay, what you can do is there is an extension called, I think if I over this, right, it's not working somewhere. So there is one extension called color picker. So I can go here, get this, search Google, copy this, and then I can go here and I can use it here. Okay, so if I do that, let's tap on this. You can see we already got it like how they are doing. Okay, so this we accomplished. Now just we are going to use the complete address one. In the text input, what you can do, let's go back to the code, and then here complete address. So we are going to name it as complete address, and then hashtag. So one more is there is no border width. Now what we are going to do, let's copy this here. Okay, border width is too much, 16. Font family is to normal font, and then yeah, so that's there. It's not looking good. So border radius of 10, and then what is it? Padding of 10, width of screen width of 0.8. Okay, once I do this, you can see this one height and all not gap and all no. So I'll take it out. Okay, so padding horizontal is not needed because it's already at the center. And then we are just going to have padding vertical of 10. So this should not be at the left. So we'll not use anything. So we'll take everything out. So one more is we'll be using. Okay, so we'll be simply using this. Okay, sorry, padding horizontal. Padding will have some padding, and then I think padding vertical, margin left. Okay, so we'll just simply have it aligned like this. Okay, so now we already have a complete solution to, like, we have the base design that is required for this addresses, right? Addresses function. So and then now it's just 10. Okay, so you can see it automatically handles the keyboard as well. Okay, now comes the important part where we will be discussing how you can pass the data from one sheet, like from one place to the other sheet, right? And then get the data as well. So now inside here, what we are going to do, we are going to pass the data. Okay, we are going to go here, flash list, and then in this section, passing data to action sheet. We are going to send the payload value here. So we are going to send the payload value in this manner. So first thing is this, we are going to send the address value or this address is to we'll use Los Angeles, right? And then in here we are going to go to, I got to close this. this one, let's go at the top, use what props, and then as they said, we are going to use props.payload.value. So it should be props dot. So as this is an uncontrolled what is it, like input field, right? That is not right. We are going to use address comma set address equal to use state. We are going to use props dot payload dot address. Okay, and then we are going to pass that thing here. Okay, so we are going to use, so if it auto focuses, right, so when you simply tap on this, the input will be automatically focused and the keyboard will handle it. So that is the thing there. And then we are going to use value of what, this address, and then on change, okay, on change text of what is to set address of e. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. If I tap on that, you can see the Los Angeles value is automatically done, right? Like automatically inserted inside this particular text input. The final thing that I want to say is how we can await the values from that particular model, right? For that, we are going to design the bottom, what is this, button, right? And then, yeah, so I'll discuss some other concepts like the navigation bar, where if you have in Android, it slightly works different, but in Android you have the navigation bar and status bar. I made an in-depth guide on how you can, like, change it for Android 15 and make it compatible with that, where there is a library called React Native Edge to Edge. So like I also use this particular library to change the color of the bottom bar. Okay, so if I'm going to go here, passing data to action sheet and then awaiting result, right? Once you send the data, you can also use async await to get the value, and then you can also use it here. So I'm going to first create the bottom button, right? Here, same way, I'm going to go here, use what, going to go here, and then pressable style, so background color. So this is a superb extension that I use, color picker. So I'm going to tap on this and then go here, get this color. Okay, so this is the exact color. So I'll go to search Google, get this, go here, background color, background color should be hashtag as its Xcode, and then I'll use width of screen, width of what, 0.8, and then justify content center, align item center. Okay, in here use text of style is to font family bold font, and then color of white. Okay, if I do this, I'll use save address. Once I do that save address, I'll go back here. This looks very bad, so I'm going to use the same concepts of padding of 10, border radius of 10. Okay, it automatically looks fine but not okay or good. Okay, so I'm going to go increase the font size to 18, and then this should be, let's take it as what, as too much, so 15. Okay, now it looks okay for this particular tutorial, right? So if the user taps on this, we will be sending the data back. So I'm going to go here, sheet manager.hide. Okay, we are going to hide this with a function. I'm going to go here, use const save address. In that function, I'm going to use sheet manager. I'm going to call this, so props.sheet id, and then okay, let's first go here, console.log this props to understand what is that. Okay, and then in this save address, we are going to use not payload is to true. We will simply send the address type. Okay, payload of address type, or use payload of address type is to address type. And then let's go down here, use on press this one. Okay, if I do that, if I tap on to await the answers, right, use async, and then use what, const values equal to, and then you can use this should be await console.log values. Okay, so I'll explain one by one. So when we tap on this, the value is being sent, keyboard is being handled, I can change this to office, and then once I tap on save address, the value should be logged here. Before that, if I go back here, you can see the payload would be what address is to Los Angeles, sheet ID is address action sheet. So this is the what I would say, like this is the address sheets ID, as I said before. And then if I tap on the save address, what happens if I go back here? You can see the address type is being received here. Okay, so this is extremely nice. So you can use it anywhere in your app, as well as you can also async and await the answers, or what I would say, wait for the answers that is being sent from that particular sheet, and then use it in your main component. Okay, so it's extremely good. So that concludes the integration of action sheet inside your React Native application. So you can also use position tracking and then background integrations, right? So for example, if I tap on the outside, it closes it. So what I can do, closable is equal to false. So, and then one more is, if you see here, okay, it's like, you can move it like this as well. It gives a very nice native feel. You can use this here, closable equal to false. If I tap on that, you can see nothing happens. Okay. So you can work around, play around with all these things. You can use flashlight scrolling, like all this good stuff. Okay, this concludes this portion of the video where I'll be discussing this action sheet. So why I did this? This section is, this will be extremely useful for the reverse geocoding and the geocoding concept that I will be discussing in the later part of the video. So we'll move into the next section where I'll be discussing on how to make this button. So okay, let's use current location, right? So what I'm going to do is same concept. So in this address sheet map, I'll simply copy this and paste it here. I'll use insets.bottom, and then I'll just use 20. So I'll just convert this to bottom. Then I'll change this to what these guys have given. Use current location. So use current location. Okay, if I do that, if I go back, it's automatically at the bottom. No need width. And then I'm going to convert this border color is to whatever the color we have provided here. Okay, to maintain the theming of the app entirely. So all these things, you have to use it in a style sheet here. Okay, this is just for demo purposes, right? So that is there. I'll increase this to 1.5. Okay, 1.5. It's automatically in this manner. Change the color of the text also to this one. Color, this padding, we'll just reduce it to 10. Okay, once you reduce it to 10, you'll already automatically have it. Slightly increase it to 12. Okay, if I go here, we have this. So to get this icon, right? So what you can do, there is a website called Icon Buddy. I have the pro version for that as well, which I use it. The Black Friday sale is going. So I'll be using what? Location, right? Get the location, and then I think, yeah, this one, right? This is what they are using. So edit this icon, download. Now comes the best part, which I requested this particular feature to the founder. So I'm going to go here, change this, download this, go here, and then in this section, add this icon here. And then what I can do, I can go here and add image, a source of, require of. So I have to change this to location, right? /location.png. What is this? Style of width of 10, height of 10. Okay, height of 10, and I have to use justify content center, align item center, and then I have to use flex direction of row. Okay, I'll also have to use margin horizontal of 5 so that it will have some space between them. So increase this to 20, and then use resize mode of contain. Okay, so we already have this. Now if the user taps on this, right, we are going to create a function called const open move to current user location. Okay, and then we are going to use a library called React Native Community Geolocation, right? So React Native community geolocation. This is a superb library that I also use. So I'll go here. It's also well maintained. You can see last published is 3 months ago. And then for this to work, get current position. Okay, so simply get this. Go here. Go here and then use get current position geolocation library. So call this particular library geolocation, right? So the prerequisites are, if I go to the top in Android, you have to add these two permissions, right? And then for iOS, you have to add ns location always and ns when location in like usage description, right? So if I go here, you can see this app wants to access your location. Same way, if I go to access course location in Android, it works the same. Okay. So now I'm going to go back here, and then in the use effect, what I'm doing is I'm using a library called React Native Permissions to request the permission of the request the permission to the user to get their locations, right? So if I go here and then when the user taps on that, it should be what this particular one. So move current location, and then I'll add that there. So what you have to do is you first install this library with npm install, and then I'll just show you. So I'll go here, use it with npm i, and then go to pause like iOS file and use cd pod install for iOS, right? Once you do this, if I scroll down in this part, so this just gets the information, right? Get current positions information. So I'll go here, tap on this. So in the logs, I can see quads, altitude, longitude, and all these things marked, etc. So I'll use I'll go here, use info.quads.latitude, info.quads.longitude. Okay. So once this is there, what I can do. So if this is not there, what you have to do is you have to ask the permission to the user to provide their location permissions. I have made an in-depth guide on what is the difference between precise and approximate location. You can also view it. So once that is done, you have to animate the user to this particular location. So I'm going to go here, and then simply I'm just going to I'll introduce a concept called destructuring. Okay, so here I'm going to use quads equal to info. I think info dot quads. Okay, I can use simply quads here. Okay, what happens is I can also destructure it like latitude and longitude, advanced JavaScript concept, but just simply use quads here, or like to not confuse beginners, I'm going to use lat long equal to latitude is to this and longitude is to this. Okay, so once I do that, this is okay. So if the user taps on this, you can see it automatically animates to that particular location, like how Zomato does. Okay, so that's how you can do it in React Native, right? So this is not so this may be confusing for like small, like what I would say, like beginner developers. We are sending the array values directly into the not array, object values directly into the function, and we are destructuring it like this, and we are using it here. To simplify this, I can simply go here and then change it like this, and then directly pass the latitude and longitude values like this. Okay, it will work in this manner as well, but we'll learn some advanced concept, right? If I use it regularly in this manner. So this is done. So that's how you integrate the use current location feature. So let's take I am somewhere else. If I use it again, it automatically animates. And if you feel that is slow, you can change this particular thing here, right? And then you can also change the latitude and longitude, latitude delta and longitude delta values to change the zoom in and zoom out value. So you can tinker with this to find that out. So that is done. So in the next part, I would focus on geocode and reverse geocoding concept. So for that to work, what you have to do is go to Google Play Console, same way, create a credential, API key. And in the previous video in this series, I explained each and every step on doing this, on how you can limit that to that particular, app bundle ID as well as your package name. So now to make this work, I'm going to go here. So I'm going to scroll down, restrict key. I'm going to use geolocation API. Okay, for now, like no, I'm just going to delete this after this video, but you have to use this geolocation API. And then I'm going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy this API key. Right, for first one, we are going to use geocoding. Geocoding is the process of converting addresses into coordinates. Okay, so why is this useful? And then how you can use this in your own applications. Okay, so geocode, and then this is the API that even Google is suggesting to use. So I'm going to copy this code sample. I'm going to go here, and then in the action sheet, okay, in the action sheet, I'll show you a magic here. Okay, so how everything works together and how you can do the same thing as well. So I'm going to go here, remove all these things, and then use const get address. Actually, get coordinates from address. Okay, so I'll use async, and then for this you have to use a library called Axios, which is Axios or fetch. It's to get a call an external API. So I'm going to use const coordinate values and then await. So I'm going to use axios.get, and then I'm going to call this one. Okay. So this is, I will introduce a concept called template literal here. I'm just literally going to use backticks. Okay. In MacBook, it's below escape key. Okay. In Windows, I forgot what. It's been 3 to 4 years I used Windows. So for development. So if you use backticks, you can have it like this. And then in the API key, what you can do is you can use it in this manner. You can call a variable here. I'm going to call a variable here. And then I'm going to supply the API key. So I'm going to, I'm going to go back to the Google Play console, copy this. Go here, paste it here. Okay. Here, one more is JSON address equal to this, right? So what I can do, I can go here and then change this to, I'll go back here, get geocoding and all these things, lat long. So this is reverse geocoding, right? So I'll go here, use address. Okay. If I do this, and then I can console.log this value. So console.log coordinates.data. Okay. So how we can do this when the user calls, it's just for testing. So if the user taps on this, taps on the button, this particular function will be called. Okay. As I told in the previous video, you should never do this in the front end. You should put this in the back end. But for learning purposes, I'm just like showing it here. So if the user taps on this one, if the user taps on save address, right? If I tap on save address, you can see all these values have come. So arrived. So I'm going to use results. Okay, I'll go back here, and then here you can see this is the response that we got back. In this one, geometry. Okay, so results dot geometry. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Dot results dot geometry. Okay, geometry. Let's try it out. Let's go here. Geometry is there, so I'll use here save address. It's undefined results. Okay, results of 0. Sorry, results of 0, which is the first element in the array. Save address. Go back. Okay, we got the lat and long. Okay, right. So now what I'm going to see, I'm going to send these values of lat and long back to what like back to this particular place, and then I'm going to animate that to that particular location. So let's go here, and then in this way I'm going to okay, let's do this. Okay, we can also learn more from here. So use return, and then this value const coordinate values equal to, I can also use it there, but you return this value here, you send all those values back into this with the help of what you can do. You can also use this spread operator, or you can directly send it in this manner. Okay, but I'm going to use it like latitude is to coordinate values. You have to go back, see it as what I think it's location, right? This is location coordinate values dot location dot lat. Same way for longitude it is lng. Okay, I'm going to send this back to that particular function, save address, or you can also rename it. This is console.log values, right? So I'm going to use animate values. Values. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, so I'm going to go here. If the user taps on save address, actually I have to close it. I have to save it first. I saved it, and then if the user taps on save address, if it's not working, what do we have to do? We have to check. Okay, latitude and longitude. Okay, let's take it all out. Search address, it's Los Angeles. You can see it automatically moves. Okay, if you have used what is it, like Zomato, like if you enter an address, it will automatically move to that particular location. The marker will move there. So let's add a marker as well. So in here, there's open all these things, right? So I'll go to the top and then enter const marker selected marker or home marker, right? Home marker, and then set home marker equal to use state of, let's simply use this origin here. Okay, sorry, like this. So when this comes out, like when we get the value, we'll use lat long. Okay, and then we already have this markers inside here, so I'm just going to change it to, I'll just use what location. So I'll just simply use location.png, and then I'll change it to home marker. Okay, so let's see how it works now. If let's take okay, so let's send San Jose, right? So here it should be San Jose, and then when the user taps on the search address and then he clicks on save address, and see it automatically moves into that particular location. Okay, but the set okay, sorry, I think it shouldn't be here. Sorry, I made it wrong. It should be in this place. Let's same way go back, slightly move to the top, and then use San Jose, and then it automatically moves to that particular location. Okay, this is how you can include this geocoding of your address and then get the lat and long of that particular geocoordinates. Sorry, the address, and then push, like animate that user to the point in React Native. Okay, so the last one would be reverse geocoding. So let's see how you can do that. Okay, so when the user taps on use current location, what we can do is we can get the lat and long, and then we can open the action sheet model. So let's go back here, and then in this side, let's use the reverse code geocoding. Same concept we are going to use. So let's get all these, copy this, and then in here, let's use like get address from coordinates. Okay, what we will do, we will use this particular library. So this particular function, and then go here. Use this. For this one, this is lat and this is long. So what we'll do, lat comma long. So we'll use that template literal lat and long. Remove all these things, and then we will simply go here, and then we'll use await of, this should be async. Then we'll use lat long dot latitude, lat long dot longitude. Okay, so it should not be here, it should be here. And then so what we will get, okay, so if we scroll down, we can also see the responses. So results dot of the first array element, and then we can get all sorts of things. We'll just get the formatted address. So it's in the results dot 0 of formatted address. So it should be in here results. It should be address values. Address values. It should be address values dot data dot results of formatted address. Okay, we'll get the formatted address, and then we'll open the particular. We'll go here, and then we'll open the sheet model in this manner. So we'll send this here. Let's see how what happens. So in this way, when the user taps on this button, use current location. So okay, in here, get address from use. Okay, so formatted address. Formatted. Sorry, to check if it's working or not. So it's maps geocode lat long, and then this attitude. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll so it's bugging out. So what we can do in this way, format address, get address from coordinates lat long. Okay, so Axios is not there. Okay, so I have to import it from there. Now it should work. So if I tap on this and see, right, we got the location. We got the location from the latitude and longitude, and then we immediately open that particular action sheet with that particular address. If I tap on save address, what happens is it is automatically going there. So this is how you can use Google's API to geocode your address and then to geocode your address into coordinates and reverse geocode that coordinates into human readable address. Okay, that's what we did here. So we discussed a lot of things here, which is like what I would say is an asset to the Geoverse series, where you can have these nice what I would say like address sheets like this, and then get the address of the user, use the user's location, and to deliver the groceries or any other like what I say like things to their place, right? So if I go to this particular website, so as this is done, it's not needed anymore. I'll see some other, right, like food delivery. Food delivery. If I search it, you can see Domino's. All these apps are there, right? Like Tasty and HelloFresh. They use this exact concept that I have discussed here, where they would get the user's location and then store the address in models. Okay, and then like animate the camera into their user's location, like how I did. So you can use this videos concepts and this nice library to handle the keyboards in both Android and iOS in React Native, and then like move forward. So that's it for this particular video. It's a very long video, but once you have done it, like learn from it, you would be able to implement any address features inside your apps, right? So you will be very strong with your geolocation features that would aid into revenue. So if you like this video, do let me know in the comments, and then in the next video I will discuss about Mapbox with map directions API. Okay, I'll also provide the a link in the description, right? Thanks.